Hello, everyone. Today we continue with part 3 of our unfinished story from last time. Come along with me. I honestly don't know what to say anymore, just a few curses here and there. If I'm being insulted, do they really think they can come down here and kill me? Why do they run away like that? You all, as cultivators, are truly too arrogant. I look hopelessly towards the madman Lee. Mr. Lee, I wonder if you know them. This peculiar group of people dressed in black. If we want to delve into their origins, we must speak of the land beneath our feet. This land once belonged to the primordial heavenly dynasty. Hundreds of years ago, 9 elder counselors conspired to overthrow it, giving rise to the current 9 Streams dynasty. They cling to life like dead insects, refusing to fall. Over the years, numerous factions have exploited the name of the primordial heavenly dynasty to oppose others. The black-clad individuals we just encountered belong to a self-proclaimed faction called the Primordial Bloodline, claiming to be the bearers of the royal bloodline of the primordial heavenly dynasty. Their aim is to topple the 9 Streams dynasty and restore power to the primordial heavenly dynasty. I find it perplexing. It seems they act in the name of the primordial heavenly dynasty, yet the madman Lee shakes his head, stating that they are merely pretenders, boasting on the outside, but essentially just idle troublemakers. They probably don't even grasp the meaning of primordial, yet they dare to speak of acting for the primordial bloodline. I listen to the madman Lee and begin to ponder. It seems he has some connection to the primordial heavenly dynasty. Otherwise, why would he look down on the black-clad group like that? To be honest, this city lord had no strength whatsoever. He should have killed me first before lying there. If those people in black could kill this city lord, their power must certainly surpass his. All I need to do is find their base and drop a few nuclear bombs on them that would definitely unnerve them. With the strength and dignity of those monks, they surely won't spare us this time. Thinking of this, I immediately asked Crazy Lee, "If you know their origins, you must also know their hideout, right?" He replied, "Master, I have heard of it." As soon as Crazy Lee finished speaking, I excitedly patted him on the shoulder. They had just ruined my plans, so of course, I had to track them down to settle the score. At that moment, Yaobu Kwai and Lucy rushed over. Crazy Lee looked at his 2 disciples, breathing a sigh of relief. "Master Nip, do you plan to leave Sanku City? Let's gather our things and accompany you," Yaobu Kwai said, his tone very respectful. Lucy was overjoyed, but then a rather annoying voice interrupted the moment. "Sleeping feels so good." It turned out to be the silly kid who had been placed on the back of a little donkey, waking up. The little donkey lifted its leg and promptly tossed him out, landing right next to his father's corpse. Upon seeing his father's condition, he immediately hugged his father's body and cried out, "Father, please don't sleep. Wake up and play with me." Crazy Lee reminded me that I should eliminate all of them. I sighed. The kid had always had issues, and now with his father dead, whether he can survive or not remains a burning question. At this moment, I find myself contemplating adding fuel to the fire, a truly wicked idea. Yaobu Kwai and Lucy, sensing my ill intentions, immediately praised Lord Nip, declaring him someone truly not to be trifled with. Moreover, they just mentioned how Lucy's cheeks flushed crimson. I understood what they were implying. If I were Lucy, I would have undoubtedly drawn my sword and slain him on the spot. However, the audacity he has displayed over the years is backed by the City Lord's protection. Now that the City Lord is dead, his fate is indeed unimaginable. At this moment, the onlookers began to show signs of discomfort, brandishing makeshift clubs as they surrounded the young lord. Witnessing this scene, a whirlwind of emotions surged within me. The environment shifted, and we resumed our journey towards the Yuxing Mountain base of the Celestial Blood Sect. Doubts started to creep in. Could it be that the Celestial Blood Sect was merely a gathering of street thugs? Li Dian in Tamku City assured me that this time there would definitely be masters among them. With a resigned sigh, I realized I had no choice but to trust him for now. The Yuxing Mountain base was over 100 miles away, a distance not to be taken lightly. Surely, we wouldn't encounter any bandits along the way. Yet, we were suddenly blocked by a man who resembled a scholar, lying sprawled on the ground. Both Li Dian and I were taken aback. Perhaps this was an ill omen. Just as we had mentioned the possibility of a robbery, We found ourselves facing it head-on. A moment ago, he was a frail scholar, and the next, he had transformed into a charming beauty. What exactly is this world of cultivation that everyone can shapeshift like Sun Wukong? Right now, we encounter a scholar lying on the ground, blocking our path. After devouring all our food, he cheerfully says, "Thank you, I was robbed yesterday, and all my food was taken. I've been hungry all day." Lee and I sit opposite the man, our faces darkening. This guy is truly a shameless beggar. Lucy, furious, wants to rush over and teach him a lesson, but I hold her back. "Please, don't stop me. He ate all our food. I must teach him a lesson." Yet the scholar seemed unfazed by our anger. He approached closer, flashing a sycophantic smile. "I just heard about the benefactors who saved lives. I heard you are heading to Imperial Mountain City. May I join you? I am very familiar with this area and can surely help you avoid dangers." I immediately shook my head in refusal. This meeting must be fate, but everyone has their own path. In my heart, I thought if you truly have the talent to avoid disasters, why were you robbed? You just want to find someone to protect you. That's all. Moreover, you are even trying to end your own life, yet you still want to avoid disasters. Unexpectedly, the scholar knelt down and clung to my thigh, sobbing. "Big brother, please take me with you. On this journey, I keep encountering robbers. I almost got my underwear stolen. Please don't abandon me. I'm a bit flustered. It's awkward for me to reject someone who's in such distress. So I need to find a way to decline gracefully. Tell me, how can you assist us?" The scholar beamed with unrestrained joy. "My home is in the Jade Mountain. We used to be traders, so I know the power dynamics there quite well." Upon hearing this, an idea struck me. "I have a question for you. Consider it a test for joining our team. Do you know the strength of the Celestial Blood sect in Jade Mountain?" The scholar flinched at my question, quickly cupping his hands in response. "They are formidable in Jade Mountain. Even the city lord must show them respect. If you confront them, you must tread carefully." I clasped my hands, maintaining a calm demeanor. "There's no need for you to worry about that. If you provide us with information about the Celestial Blood sect, we can still escort you back to Jade Mountain." "All right, I'll provide the details right away." The Celestial Blood sect is known to be an organization under the directive of the Celestial Empire. Their specific structure consists of 1 emperor, 2 saints, 3 generals, 4 deities, 5 demons, and 6 messengers. Among them, the emperor is none other than the Enchantress Queen. Before he could finish, Li Fengzi charged in. "When did the Enchantress Queen join the Celestial Blood sect? Speak quickly. Who is currently controlling Jade Mountain?" The scholar scratched his head nervously. "The guards of Jade Mountain are the 6 ancient lords, but I can investigate more thoroughly once we return to Jade Mountain." How could I not see through his intentions? The scholar intends to use the information from the Fruit Master to exchange for our treasures. This transaction can only be accomplished if the information you gather is worthy of the effort we've put into protecting you. Upon hearing this, the scholar exclaimed with joy and began rummaging in his chest pocket. "To express my gratitude, I will help you with a divination." Saying this, he pulled out a silver turtle shell. "I'm not bragging, but I've known how to read fortunes since I was a child. This divination will surely assist you," he declared, shaking the turtle shell. Liu Ziliu mocked, "If you can read fortunes accurately, why were you robbed in the first place?" Just then, as he shook, 3 coins fell out. Everyone gazed curiously at the 3 coins. "What kind of fortune are you reading?" The scholar placed the turtle shell against his chest and smiled. "I'm checking the weather. The omen shows a clear sky today, not a cloud in sight." Before he could finish his sentence, it started pouring like a monsoon. In a cave, everyone huddled around the fire, shivering. I couldn't help but scold, "Your fortune is truly dreadful. Are you reading a black omen?" Li Fengzi, also furious, gritted his teeth and said, "This person is truly bizarre." The old doctor glanced at me, wanting to abandon the scholar. But I thought, while he may not be trustworthy, he seems to genuinely have the capability to investigate the matters of the primordial blood sect. Furthermore, his malicious words might help me smoothly escape this situation. With that in mind, I patted Li Fengzi's shoulder. "Everyone is struggling, so let's just take him along." Upon hearing this, the scholar immediately dashed over and hugged my leg tightly. This valiant hero, with his generous words and formidable martial arts, possessed not only striking good looks, but also a compassionate soul. Are you truly a good person? As night fell, the group lay sleeping on the ground when suddenly, Shusheng opened his eyes wide and stood up to exit the cave. Upon stepping outside, a figure immediately appeared before him. The shadow looked up at him and softly asked, "How are things progressing?" Shusheng smiled contemptuously. "It seems you still harbor doubts about my talent. Don't worry, I have successfully infiltrated their inner circle." As he spoke, a golden light shone around him, and he soon transformed into a captivating beauty. "I've only brought 2 girls from the realm of cultivation for a little exercise, and unexpectedly, they broke through, leaving Shusheng astonished. Just a moment ago, due to the rain, we had to take shelter in a cave for the night. However, as I closed my eyes, Shusheng suddenly stood up and stepped outside. No sooner had he left the cave than a shadow appeared before him, lifting its head to gaze at him. It softly inquired, "How are things progressing?" Shusheng smirked with disdain. "It seems you still doubt my abilities. Rest assured, I have successfully infiltrated their ranks." With that, a shimmering golden light enveloped him, and moments later, he transformed into an enchanting beauty. It turns out this woman is a spy for the Bloodming. The man in black has repeatedly warned that this target is not simple. It is said that one of the 3 city lords was defeated by that young man with just one move. We are concerned that he might pose a threat to Bloodming. Therefore, I assign you the task of approaching and thoroughly investigating whether he is a disciple sent by an ancient sect for training. Do not be negligent. The indifferent woman waved her hand and said, "As long as the money is prepared, the person I investigate will definitely not escape my grasp. The rest of you just wait for the news. As soon as I finish gathering intelligence, I will contact you myself." After saying this, the woman was about to return to the cave. The man in black behind her threatened, "Bloodming has entrusted you with this task. It is a recognition for you. You absolutely must not do it carelessly." The woman waved her hand dismissively. At that moment, from a large tree behind, an owl was observing everything. Truly, fools know no fear. With such strength, they dare to probe the secrets of the master. If they really anger the master, perhaps with just a wave of his hand, they will be swept away like dust. At this moment, the woman had no other choice. She emitted a faint golden light and in an instant transformed into the figure of a scholar. However, the deadly gaze of the owl made her feel a chill down her spine. Without hesitation, she sprinted away. Perhaps a change in weather was on the horizon as the temperature was dropping. It was essential to return quickly and catch up on some sleep. The next morning, I woke up early, warming up with the martial arts routines I had practiced back on Earth, while my mind was deep in contemplation. Yesterday's rain had delayed our journey. Today, we should finally reach Yushan. Suddenly, a scholar in training was interrupted by someone else. "Hero, why are you up so early?" "Indeed, I had a restless night, so I got up early to practice a bit," I replied. "How much longer until we reach Yushan?" "We're almost there, it's not far now, just a Chuyi Trang left." "Tonight, we'll rest at the stopover there. Tomorrow morning, we'll set off before noon to finally arrive at Yushan." Suddenly, a loud cheer erupted from a cave, causing the scholar to nearly tumble backwards. Almost immediately, a figure collided with him. It was Lucy. Seeing me, she excitedly rushed forward, eager to ask, "Xuan, I heard you could teach me." Her eyes sparkled like stars at the thought of me teaching her. But Yao But Kui, just emerging from the cave, interrupted, "That must be the secret technique of Master Niam's school." "That wouldn't be good," Lucy sighed. "That's right, I already have a master and can't learn the martial arts of senior brother Niam." I chuckled and replied, "It's no problem, this is just a regular exercise routine. Back in my hometown, anyone with a desire to learn can teach." Lucy was instantly stunned, unable to believe her ears. Is that really just a local exercise routine? She couldn't comprehend it. Not only that, but if you want to learn the techniques, you can, I continued to explain. Of course it's true, but we need to set off today. Time is of the essence. First, follow me to practice a set of moves, and then we can head out. Yao Buchi said shyly, stepping forward to express his desire to join in. Absolutely, let's do it together. With that, I led them in practicing the routine. Both Yao Buqi and Lucy practiced side by side. Meanwhile, Lian Fang and the scholar sat a short distance away, observing. After a while, the scholar seemed to notice something astonishing. He watched as Yao Buqi and Lucy completed a set of movements. Soft golden light radiated around them as they both broke through to stage 4. The two girls, cultivating in the realm of immortals, simply followed my routine and instantly achieved simultaneous breakthroughs. Yao Buqi and Lucy were immersed in the euphoric sensations that accompanied their ascension. The scholar gaped in astonishment at the scene before him. They only practiced once, and they advanced so easily. What kind of sorcery is this, he wondered. Could it be that this hero was already a true master? He gazed at the petals of golden light coalescing behind me. He again denied his own thoughts. This memory transcends the legends of the celestial beings. A true master could never achieve this. Only by surpassing one's own limits can one realize such feats. Seeing this, Lin Fang quickly dashed to my side. I couldn't let this opportunity slip away. This opportunity must not be wasted. At this moment, the euphoric sensation following the breakthrough began to fade. The two girls, flushed and exhausted, slumped to the ground, panting heavily. I was genuinely startled, thinking to myself, don't let yourself fall. The techniques of the master are truly mysterious. I can only comprehend this much. Please don't blame me, master. I can't go on any longer. The sensation after breaking through is too delightful. My mind is spinning. I scratched my head, feeling a bit embarrassed. Are all cultivators this weak? I should go prepare breakfast for everyone. After we eat, we'll continue our journey. Seeing that we had finished, Lin Fang knelt on the ground, regretful for not participating. If I had known that simply practicing the technique once could lead to a breakthrough, I wouldn't have cared about saving face. It felt as though I had missed a golden opportunity. After finishing our meal, we set off again. In the afternoon, the scholar walking ahead turned back and pointed forward. Master, right in front of us is a Qiuyi Trang. I followed the direction of his finger. Curiosity piqued. Is the Qiuyi Trang you mentioned the collection of houses up there? Compared to this estate, it resembles more of a town. Immediately, Thusin explained that Qiuyi Trang was built atop a mountain with a small town nestled at its foot. It has been thriving for over 1,000 years. This place is renowned for its chivalry, aiding the weak and punishing the strong. As time passed, it has evolved into its current grandeur. Looking ahead, I pondered that perhaps the estate owner is also a master. If so, who knows? I might just be tested on whether I can withstand him. However, according to Thusin's description, the estate owner seems to be a good person. I cannot recklessly rush towards death like a fool, nor can I allow innocent lives to be slaughtered by ruthless tyrants. Thus, my suicide plan must be put on hold for now. Perhaps I should see if they can eliminate me. However, from what Thusin said, the estate owner appears to be a righteous man. Therefore, I cannot act foolishly and seek death. I must also let him bear the burden of those wicked oppressors who kill innocents. This suicide plan is temporarily postponed. Ever since I learned I would be going to Qiuyi Trang, Lian Dian has worn a heavy expression. Sensing his concern, Nukong immediately approached and asked, Master, you seem unwell. Is your health in jeopardy? Lian Dian hurriedly waved his hand, indicating he did not wish to discuss it further. A deep sigh escaped my lips as I reminisced about the time when I was hunted down, and the old master Chu Dui had stood up to shield me from a portion of my enemies. Now, after countless years, I wondered how he was faring. While my mind spiraled in a frenzy of thoughts, I turned and waved my hand. It's getting late, let's take a break here. Lin Dian nodded in agreement, while Liu Zi was overjoyed, practically dancing at the prospect of finally having a meal. As we stepped into the bustling town, the crowds began to murmur excitedly. It turned out that only a few days remained until the birthday celebration of the old master Chu. Moreover, the 9 lords of the court had sent gifts to congratulate him. Lin Dian was taken aback, recalling the events from years past when the 9 lords revolted. Back then, Master Chu was the first to rally in support of the Heavenly Open Dynasty. How could it be that now, the 9 lords wield such power unchecked? I had to find a chance to meet the old master once more. As night fell, I quickly sought out an inn to rest, slipping away quietly. At that moment, in the Chu family cemetery, an old man with silver hair sat in the garden, savoring a cup of wine. This year, the heavenly open dynasty has been blessed with fortune, and the four seas are tranquil. My Chu family cemetery enjoys a life of ease. Who would have thought that the 9 lords would conspire to overthrow the dynasty? Now the ungrateful descendants, driven by selfish interests, have come to depend on them. It is truly a lamentable and pitiful sight. Just then, a voice echoed, "Master Chow, it has been 100 years since we last met. I wish you good health." A figure slowly approached. Back then, thanks to your assistance, I managed to narrowly escape a perilous fate. Today, I find myself returning to this familiar place. Naturally, I had to come to pay my respects to you, Master Chow. As the figure came into focus, the old man gasped in astonishment and exclaimed, "The Queen of Talents rang." He immediately knelt down, tears streaming down his face. "Your Majesty, I have waited for you for so long." That person was none other than Lian Fengzi, transformed into a woman. Lian Fengzi stepped forward and lifted the old man up. "You were a friend of my ancestor. I must address you as Uncle Gong. Moreover, you have helped me so much. How could I accept such honors?" Lian Fengzi gently guided the old man to a chair in the study and asked, "What have you been through all these years? Why are you in such poor health?" The old man sighed. "My family has fallen into misfortune. Back then, your Majesty was hiding in Qiao Cemetery, and the 9 elders rejoiced, but they ultimately came for me. I tried to resist, but in the end, I couldn't escape." Upon hearing this, Lian Dian immediately stood up and bowed deeply. "Uncle Gong, your great kindness is something I can never forget." The old man waved his hand dismissively. "It is a pity that the integrity of the Chen descendants has been tarnished by the 9 elders. All these years, I have been like a loyal dog, but now I am merely confined to this small courtyard. If I were to descend to the underworld one day, I would have nothing to say to my ancestors." As he spoke, he looked around and called out to Lian Dian in a hushed tone, "Old Chen has become a cripple, yet he clings to a secret that keeps him alive to this very day. Over the years, although I excelled as a hound, I have now been stripped of my power, confined within this small yard. If I were to fall into hell one day, I wouldn't even know how to face the living, who laugh and jest around me." Seeing Lin in a frenzy, I waved my hand gently, telling him that old Tran had now become a mere shell of his former self, yet he clung to a secret that kept him hanging on. This secret pertains to the primordial dynasty. I implore His Majesty to not betray the trust of old Tran. The scenery shifted, and Lin transformed into the likeness of an old man seated in an inn, his face etched with worry. This sight left us in deep contemplation. Lucy, while eating, anxiously inquired, "Master, is something troubling you, Meng? Did you not enjoy your meal yesterday?" "The master merely had some unresolved thoughts," I replied. "Just eat, dear." In truth, old Master Cao has hidden a treasure within the city of Ngoksan. Last night, he revealed to Lin the location of this treasure, and now he is torn, uncertain whether to escape with it. He cannot bear to let the master suffer alone. At this moment, I picked up a piece of meat for Lin, noticing the old man's brow furrowed in deep thought. There must be something weighing on his heart, preventing him from letting go. "Speak to the younger generation. Perhaps we can help you alleviate your worries." Just a moment ago, I planned to sidestep the conversation, but suddenly, as if recalling something, I looked at him with a calm demeanor, resolved to share a little of the burden. I poured a cup of tea, allowing Li Fengzi to slowly recount the events. Li Fengzi narrated everything in vivid detail. After hearing his story, Love Without Regret and Lu Zuni both remarked that the old Master Chu truly was a kind-hearted man. If it weren't for that, we would have stormed in to rescue him without a second thought. Then, Li Fengzi immediately opposed the idea of letting Ye Ji treat the old master. Regarding Chu Yi residents, he said we were merely insignificant cats and dogs wanting to kill us was nothing short of a jest. Moreover, the old master had broken his leg and severed over 100 meridians. How could he possibly be treated easily? I scratched my neck, pondering that the healing would have to wait until a thorough examination was conducted. How could we know if he couldn't be treated without an examination? Hearing Mr. Li's words, I realized the old Master Chu was undoubtedly a good man. If I could help and chose not to, my conscience would weigh heavily on me. Yet despite my words, I secretly calculated that the others in the residence were nothing but a bunch of scoundrels. Once the old master was healed, I would find the perfect opportunity to provoke him that way. My plan for suicide would surely succeed. Upon hearing my words, Li Fengzi immediately knelt down, exclaiming, "Mr. Ye, I sincerely thank you for this great kindness." The old master Li Fengzi was touched by my words, as everyone remarked that those in the demonic path lacked the strength to rise early. But what he just said came from a sincere heart, devoid of any deceit. Could it be that I had misunderstood Nye Teothian all this time? As I helped Li Fengtu to his feet, I told the scholar that we would stay for a few days. If he was in a hurry, he could head to Ngokthangsun first. The scholar immediately replied that he was in no rush, he just needed to wait here for his friends. Luk Tu Ni asked me, "Nye Ka, don't you and Ko Ngok Trang have any connections? How can we get in? Isn't the old master Ko's birthday just around the corner? We only need to prepare to go up the mountain to congratulate him." Those crystal jewels, carelessly crafted, are regarded by everyone in the cultivation world as treasures that are hard to come by. I disdainfully remarked that as long as I wanted, obtaining a few hundred of these wouldn't be a problem at all. Just then, to rescue the old master Kao who was being held captive, we decided to use his birthday celebration as a pretext to sneak in and assess the situation. On the day of the old master's birthday, the number of guests coming to pay their respects was like a bustling festival. However, there were always those righteous individuals who were seething with anger. The 9 great matriarchs, years ago, in their quest to achieve the heavenly opening dynasty, showed no mercy to the old master. Now, they had the audacity to send people to congratulate him. One could only wonder what schemes were afoot. I could only watch as Kao Takfi, his father, was reduced to a mere shell of his former self. He could still chat and laugh with his enemies. Sighing, the elder master Ko lamented his misfortune in raising such a useless son. In just a few years, the entire Kongia Trang would likely become the laughingstock of the 9 great families. As soon as the words left his mouth, a swift kick sent him sprawling. The one who struck was a proud official of the Kuhian Empire, glaring haughtily as he shouted, "The Kuhian Empire's favor stretches across the land. You have no right to speak so casually." The elder master Kotekfi quickly stepped forward to mediate. "Honorable official, the Kaungia Trang shines brightly today. It is my father's birthday. Please do not stoop to the level of these petty individuals." The official, still seething with anger, delivered another kick. "Today is the elder master's birthday. We must avoid bloodshed. After today, I will settle this score with you." As I stood in line witnessing the scene unfold, a flash of inspiration struck me. I sought out someone to clash with, hoping to draw my knife. Finally, I spotted the official, a clear villain in my eyes. If I provoked him just right, my plan for self-sacrifice might just succeed. At last it was my turn, but a seemingly stern butler blocked my path. "Who are you? What gifts do you bring?" Li Fengtu cracked open a corner of the box, revealing a blinding golden light emanating from within. "We are merely a band of travelers. We heard that the old master is hosting a birthday celebration, so we prepared a small gift." The steward nearly dropped his eyes out of surprise when he saw the contents of the box. "This is the azure sea-tide birthstone we retrieved from the century-old jade pool. We hope you can grant us a favor." After saying this, I took out a gemstone and placed it in the steward's hand. He immediately tucked the gem into his chest. As we entered, Yubat Hoi and Luk Tu Nyi were still fuming, believing it was beneath us to offer such treasures to such despicable individuals. As for me, I couldn't care less. I have no regrets about giving away what children cannot hold on to. Moreover, as long as I desire, I can easily craft hundreds of such gems. The 2 girls were instantly taken aback by my generosity. Meanwhile, the old master Kao was dutifully serving the noble guest. The noble guest accepted the tea with delight, unaware of the secrets he had just learned. The 9 great matriarchs had warned that their patience has its limits. They would not hesitate to let Kaungia Trang fade into obscurity. Ko Takfi listened in cold sweat. "Please grant me more time. I will definitely uncover the secret." Just then, the steward rushed in, holding the crystal gem I had given. The young master, just now, a few travelers presented the azure sea-tide birthstone to us. Give me a little more time, and I will surely uncover the secret of the primordial. At that moment, the steward hurried in, clutching the gem I had sent. The young master, just now, received gifts of the azure sea-tide birthstone from some strangers. Looking at the gem, excitement surged within me. Without a hint of hesitation, Kaudi reached for the jewel. But then, his face turned pale. My God! This gem harbors pure spiritual energy. If one could absorb the strength within, an immediate breakthrough would be guaranteed. They merely brought a bag of authenticity, just a single bag. Though they claimed it contained one, their hands drew a two. Kaudui immediately caught on. It seemed the steward wasn't a fool. He quickly presented the treasure before the official. Please, esteemed official, grant me a few more days of grace. The official picked up the gem, examining it, and his expression shifted dramatically. According to the intel, Jianan had been defeated by the master of this gem, only to be slain by the Celestial Blood Clan. Who would have thought the perpetrator would walk straight into the trap? Today I will ensure he cannot return. In the grand hall, the banquet was bustling with guests. Lucy, the food lover, could hardly contain her desire to eat, reaching for 2 pieces, but was mercilessly slapped away by Leon. This little brat dares to eat anything she needs to be more cautious. If one pays attention, they would notice several masters secretly observing me. The few at the door were clearly masquerading as family servants. It seems Kaudui had long been wary of us. Meanwhile, I surveyed my surroundings, trying to acclimate to this new environment. Then, I whispered to the 3 of them, Elder Leon surely knows the layout of Kaudui's place. In a moment, the 2 girls and I will lead them away, and during the ensuing chaos, the old man can slip away to rescue the master. Right at this moment, a man, unable to contain himself any longer, charged towards us. Without uttering a single word, he launched an immediate attack. As I watched the approaching fist, a thought crossed my mind. So it begins. If things escalated, drawing my sword would be the only option. This was the true behavior of those who walk the path of immortality. Suddenly, a resounding clash echoed through the air. The stout man was sent flying, struck down by a kick, not a punch. The scene left everyone present in astonishment. Was this a mistake? How could such a tiny girl send a heavyweight fighter soaring through the air? How could he achieve such a feat? Meanwhile, Yobuthoy gazed at me with admiration shining in her eyes. Buthoy couldn't tolerate anyone disturbing her master and pleaded for mercy on my behalf. I could only smile awkwardly, grateful for her intervention that saved me from an embarrassing situation. Just then, we heard the hurried footsteps of the butler, who rushed in, calling out to us. These rascals are ruining the master's banquet. Please, someone help me apprehend them. In the world of cultivation, there are still a few brave souls clenching their fists, ready to take action against us. Yet, Yobuthoy and Lucy showed no signs of fear. Preparing for a battle, the techniques that Naka had taught us were no mere child's play. Leon, witnessing the unfolding chaos, grew concerned for her 2 disciples. I quickly reminded her, hurry, find the master. Leon understood the gravity of the situation. Before I could turn around, he hurriedly departed. I entrust you, Master Nak, with the care of my 2 disciples. With that said, Yobuthoy and Lucy plunged into the chaos. Just moments later, they returned to my side, while I sat back in my chair, letting out a deep sigh. To kneel down in such a weakened state, can this truly be considered a path of cultivation? I cannot believe it. They are the ones stirring up trouble, and instead of stopping them, they encourage the assault on us. The butler trembled at the scene unfolding before him. This is your personal conflict. We have no right to interfere. The responsibility for this situation primarily lies with Ko Nuttrang, and we have allowed you to suffer losses. To express our remorse, I would like to present you with this rare wine, aged since autumn. After speaking, the old man handed me the bottle. A quick sniff revealed that something was off. It smelled like red crane, and I remained cautious. After all, in the world of cultivation, even poison could merely be red crane. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a plate of beef liver and an antidote resting on the table. Do these people have any sense? Without hesitation, I devoured the beef liver. I hadn't eaten rice or drunk wine yet, and a little something to line the stomach is hardly excessive. After that, I comfortably drained my glass. Then I let out a burp, only to realize that the expelled gas was toxic, causing the butler and everyone else to collapse. Who dares to cause trouble in my cow nut trang? Loud caw of the crane echoed throughout the grand hall. I could see the fierce aura of Elder Chairman Kao Yi rising majestically into the air. It seems you all are deliberately causing trouble. Don't blame me for being merciless. Meanwhile, in a secluded room, the old master of the manor wondered why such a commotion was unfolding. Just then, a feminine silhouette, Li Fengtu, suddenly appeared before him. "Old Ko, I have come to rescue you." No sooner had she spoken than a figure wielding a sword materialized, radiating an astonishing aura. "I knew you would exploit the chaos to save this old man. I've been waiting here for a long time. Today, I will capture the remaining members of the Blood Shadow sect. To rescue the elder who is being detained, we plan to find an opportunity during his birthday feast, but it seems we've been discovered." I could see the current master of Kongyi Manor, surrounded by a powerful aura, floating in the air, gazing down at me with a prideful look. "You dare to storm into Kongyi Manor just to save that old man?" Yo Konghoi looked towards Koi, suspended above. It was the master of the silver feather golden bird. His strength seemed to be around the 7th night level. We absolutely cannot underestimate him. His power, though slightly inferior to that of the city master Baku, was far more imposing. To dare compare this battle to that of Jianyangyi, you all will surely meet a tragic end. Fear gnawed at my heart. This scene is undeniably far more powerful than that fool who rides a wild beast in a reckless chase after the city lord. However, the strength of this man is clearly no match for that lord. What could be the reason for this? Suddenly the master bellowed, "Ko Yi, the cold autumn winds." From the core of his being, symbols began to glow, forming a vortex of energy. Upon witnessing this, Yu Konghoi finally remembered something. His master had once mentioned the cold autumn winds formation. Such things, deeply rooted in the earth for many years, would utilize the formation to draw power from the ley lines, enhancing one's strength. I was taken aback as well. So, his strength is not merely at the 7th night. Indeed, once the formation activates, his power will skyrocket exponentially. Just then, the master laughed heartily. It's too late to react now. Yu Konghoi and the girl Lucy immediately charged towards the master. They had to hold him back. "Mr. Ngo, hurry and find a way to break the formation." The master's gaze was filled with murderous intent. "You think you can break the formation with just the two of you?" Meanwhile, Li Fengzi had already begun battling the officer from the magistrate's office. Yet, he was pushed back by a punch from the officer. The old shopkeeper realized he was nothing but a burden and pleaded with Li Fengzi to let him go. In their conversation, he learned that Li Fengzi was the long-lost Queen Fengzi, who had been missing for centuries, filling his heart with immense joy. "If I can take him down, the attention of the 9 patriarchs will surely be mine." Without hesitation, he lunged forward with the dagger aimed at Li Fengzi. Li Fengzi was equally resolute to claim his head. He had to see if the man possessed the skill to back it up. Channeling his energy, a golden wave surged forth towards the enemy. The scene shifted to Master Chu, gripping his sword tightly as he charged. With a swift punch, he struck Lucy, sending her flying through the air. The young women, though formidable, were ultimately no match for the overwhelming strength that dominated the battlefield. Only 4 stood against his might. Blood dripped from Yo Konghoi's mouth, each drop a testament to the struggle. "How can one know without trying?" he sneered. With that, the sword in his grasp shattered into countless shards, hurtling towards Master Chu, only to be met with a powerful surge of energy that sent them scattering. In an instant, he charged at Yo Konghoi. I felt a surge of anxiety and quickly rummaged through my storage ring, hurling an object towards the master. The bandit master countered, his strike connecting with the iron pan I had thrown. All of the master's strength was focused on the iron pan I had tossed. In the blink of an eye, the pan was sent flying. I watched in shock. This pan was indeed special. In that moment, I had narrowly avoided being struck down by the heavenly tribulation. I had also escaped Yo Konghoi's lethal strike, and I was certain it was thanks to this pan. My eyes caught the large hole in the ceiling, and I silently cursed my luck. I called out to Yo Kong Hoi and Lucy, urging them to follow me outside quickly to see if we could land another blow. In order to wake him up, we seized the opportunity to counterattack. On this side, Li Fengzi was locked in a fierce standoff with the county magistrate. As the situation grew desperate, a loud explosion erupted. The magistrate, caught off guard, was struck by an unseen force. As the dust settled, it revealed the master Chu Yi, with lightning flashing around him. Lying motionless atop the magistrate, this scene left both Li Fengzi and the old lord astonished. The elder pondered silently, realizing that many formidable experts were still by the emperor's side. At that moment, we were in hot pursuit of the master, who had just been sent flying. Suddenly, she transformed into the figure of a young girl. Seeing this, Li Fengzi broke into a cold sweat. I was equally taken aback. Who would have thought the heroine would appear here? Yao Konghui leaned in close and whispered to me. "Who is this?" I replied. "She is an old friend of mine." Doubts crept into my mind, wondering why the illustrious Li Laoxian had vanished, only for the heroine to emerge. Could they be connected in some way? Without hesitation, I clasped my hands and asked, "Surely, you must be the old Lord Chu. We are the comrades sent to rescue you." Unbeknownst to me, the heroine was Li Fengzi. He quickly turned to the old lord, speaking urgently. "This person is just the daughter of an old friend of mine. I heard that the elder has been in trouble for many years, so we came here to help you out." Meanwhile, Li Fengzi was also gently placing the old lord down. As I was speaking, I heard that old Master Ku has been constantly humiliated by his ungrateful son, so I intended to rescue him. It seems that you all share the same goal. Love without regret, with hands clasped and head bowed, revealed that this lady is indeed a fellow practitioner of the same sect. "May I ask your name? Have you ever met my master, Li Fengzi?" Just as I was searching for the old master, I happened to see an elderly man conversing with some servants. "Surely, that must be the master you speak of." With that, she soared into the air, leaving the meditation room behind. I stood there, lost in thought. The last time I found him, he promised he would marry me. Why does fate have to be so cruel? Watching Li Fang's silhouette fade away, Love Without Regret felt a strange sense of familiarity and closeness wash over her. Before everything could be settled, we swiftly bound the two of them like Zongzi. I also calmed myself to prepare for checking the pulse of the old master. Meanwhile, that madman, Li Fengzi, had appeared at the door. "Have you rescued the old master already? Where have you been? Why didn't you notify us, and in your duel with others, did you sustain any injuries?" Li Fengzi looked a bit awkward, simply saying he was just cleaning up some trash. I had to circle around for a long time to find this place. "Mr. Ye is currently checking the pulse of the old master. What's the diagnosis?" "It's nothing serious, just a blockage in the meridians. Regaining consciousness shouldn't be a problem. As for restoring his inner strength, I cannot guarantee anything." Li Fengzi appeared downcast. "Well, let's first focus on helping the old man regain his ability to move. It's all right. I will ensure he lives a life of ease from now on." The memories of employing traditional hydrotherapy truly possess miraculous effects in the world of cultivation, helping a half-paralyzed elder regain his vitality. Just recently, we managed to rescue the old master of the clan. However, his cultivation has been shattered for centuries. I can only retrieve the last precious artifact in hopes of healing him. The old master has suffered from blocked meridians for many years, his vital energy nearly stagnant. I will need to employ both literature and martial arts to aid his recovery. First, I will use a blood-activating alcohol potion to swiftly stimulate and awaken the meridians within his body. This will also help him regain his vitality quickly. Next, I will use fire and non-fire techniques to open up the blocked channels. If it hurts, it won't flow. If it flows, there won't be pain. Meanwhile, the three of us, Li Feng and his companions, were engrossed in the rich aroma of the medicinal wine. As my hand rested on the old master's back, he suddenly spat out a mouthful of old blood. I wiped the sweat from my brow, feeling exhausted, only to be startled when I turned around. The three of them were flushed and collapsed to the ground. Clearly, they were lost in the exhilarating sensation of a breakthrough. Suddenly, a breathtaking sight unfolded before us. The old master unexpectedly soared into the air, his body radiating a brilliant golden light. breaking free from the shackles of the night. Just moments later, his body fell before the ungrateful sun. For years, your father has been gravely injured, unable to move, yet you take advantage of this opportunity not only to imprison him, but also to monopolize power. While father may choose to overlook your actions, you dare to bow before the people of the Nine-Huan imperial court. Even though you are my flesh and blood, forgiveness is out of the question. With that, a pair of enormous hands began to reach for his son. The scene shifts to us four, gathered around the table, sharing a meal. The old master declared that he would handle matters within the clan himself. Is there truly no issue at hand? Rest assured, before the injury, the old master was a hero. Dealing with such trivial matters is as easy as flipping a palm. As we conversed, Yobut Hoi seemed to be lost in thought. Clearly this was her first encounter with that woman. Why does it feel like I've met her somewhere before? Moreover, it seems like it was a long time ago, back when I was very little. Sister, are you not enjoying your meal? Let me help you with your food. With that, she began to eat quickly, leaving Yobut Hoi staring in bewilderment. By the time only the last piece of meat remained, Luktu's chopsticks were intercepted. Tuni, I'm just thinking, it's not that I don't want to eat, but if the food gets cold, it won't taste good. If you're not hungry, then don't waste it. The two continued to tug back and forth over the last morsel. Li Feng felt a pang of sorrow in his heart. The two children had been with him for quite some time, yet it had truly been ages since they enjoyed a delicious meal like this. Finally, after such a long wait, they could indulge a bit of friendly competition among them to test each other seemed only fitting. Just then, a piece of meat was sent flying. Yao Buhuo reacted swiftly, leaping up and snatching the meat midair. In a moment of panic, Luzi reached out to grab Buhuo, who was suspended in the air, but lost his balance and was pulled down by Luzi. Unexpectedly, I ended up being the landing pad. What an odd coincidence, the distinctive curves of a woman fell directly onto my face. Excuse me, miss, would you mind getting up a bit? I'm having a little trouble breathing. Yao Buhuo quickly scrambled to her feet, her face flushed. I'm so sorry, Mr. Ye. I was the one being impolite. Feeling embarrassed, I scratched my head, relieved as long as the girl was unharmed. At that moment, the old host rushed over, apologizing. I just finished handling matters in the estate and couldn't attend to you all properly. I hope you can forgive me. Now that you've just recovered from your injuries, you should focus on resting. The old man patted his chest. Thanks to your healing, the ailments that plagued me for many years have completely vanished, and my realm has increased significantly. There's no need for thanks for such a great favor. If you ever need anything from Qiao Yizhang in the future, I will certainly not hesitate. I nodded repeatedly. If the old host was willing to help me, I would truly be very grateful. I heard it was suggested by Li Dao Yu. Only Mr. Ni can take action now. I, the old man, would like to express my gratitude to my friend Li Feng and humbly decline. In the next moment, 2 circular marks suddenly appeared in his eyes. The old master was taken aback. This was a state only those with the innate royal bloodline could activate. Could it be that he is His Majesty? Instantly, the old man knelt down and said, Friend, your great favor allows me to bow in reverence. Your Majesty must have endured for so long now that you are taking action. There must be a reason behind it. Surely you have found powerful allies capable of defeating the 9 great regents. Could it be that it is I? Mr. Nai thought to himself and immediately lowered his head in salute. I dare not accept that. He hurriedly helped the old master up. Do you have any information about the Celestial Blood Alliance's stronghold at Jade Mountain? It seems they are preparing for a grand martial arts tournament at Jade Mountain. Even the 9 great regents have been drawn into this. Li Feng felt dizzy. Could it be that the Celestial Blood Alliance intends to challenge the 9 imperial dynasties in a life-or-death battle? This is not information from the Celestial Blood Alliance. Rather, the victor of the martial arts tournament will obtain the royal treasure of the innate royal bloodline. Master, do you know what the legendary Pearl of Chao Tao Hai is? Many years ago, the ancestors of the celestial bloodline suppressed the malevolent forces, establishing the Celestial Empire and bequeathing 4 artifacts, including the Pearl of Chao Tao Hai. The legend says that each artifact, when used alone, appears ordinary, but when merged and harnessed with the power of the celestial bloodline, the strength becomes capable of annihilating the world. It's unfortunate that the 9 great patriarchs have secretly seized the 4 celestial artifacts, their whereabouts now a mystery. Now, the Celestial Blood Alliance has released news, and I fear there is certainly a conspiracy at play. They might be angling for something big, which is why they are presenting this bait. Just as I finished speaking, the old master fell to his knees, exclaiming, "Oh heavens! What do you intend to do, master?" Currently, the Blood Alliance of the Celestial Realm is broadcasting information, and I sense a conspiracy lurking within. They might be fishing for something significant, hence offering the old man as bait. As soon as I uttered these words, the old master knelt down, pleading, "Oh heavens! What are you planning to do, master? I have a request. The 9th ancestor is currently on the way to Ngokthan Sun, seeking your help. Please assist in retrieving the Pearl of Chohai. You would only be helping a feeble old man who would have thought that this old man could turn the tide like a tiger gaining wings." Immediately after, he knelt down again, imploring me to help him reclaim the Pearl of Chohai. Being the kind-hearted person I am, I agreed. This made him so overjoyed that he nearly wept. In the vicinity of Ko Nutrang, there is a stream. It can help the monks to circulate their vital energy. You all shouldn't miss this opportunity. This news thrilled the 2 girls who loved cleanliness immensely. After a long journey, they finally had the chance to indulge in a refreshing bath. At the hot spring behind the mountain, I found myself feeling rather melancholic. Here I am, in this space, after having immersed in this water for 100 years. Why do I suddenly feel like I have been reborn? If that's the case, what level am I at now? I need to find a master who can help me change this situation. I must take advantage of this moment before I encounter any adversaries. First, I must test my own strength. At this moment, on the other side, Lucy was sneaking a peek over the wall, unable to contain her curiosity. "What are you doing?" she asked. Hearing some commotion near Nyan's place, she wanted to see what was happening. "Don't worry," she reassured herself. "As long as Mr. Nyan is here, everything will be fine." Just as she finished speaking, a powerful wave of energy surged and sent her flying outside. "Oh no," she exclaimed, startled by the very noise she had made herself.